Hi guys, welcome back again to the channel. Today we are making a very simple short gown, an A-line, small A-line short gown with a bishop collar and button down. So if you are interested, continue watching and make sure you watch to the end so you won't miss out of any important information. So guys, with that being said, let's get started. This is the material I'll be using for the gown. This is a crepe material. I have 2 yards here and I have half yard. I would like to combine it. I would like to use this black for the collar and the placket for the buttons. So you can use any material of your choice. You can use Ankara African print material if you don't have crepe material. I just feel like using crepe material for the gown. So I'll be cutting the back side first. You know, the back will not have any zipper allowance or any allowance. The allowance is going to be at the front side. I'm going to cut the back part first and then we are going to use it to cut the front part. So I'll place my material on fold using the biggest part of my measurement, which is my hip measurement. So you consider your bust, waist and hip. Anyone that is bigger, you make use of it. So guys, like I said, I've placed my material on fold using the hip measurement. My hip measurement is 43 divided by 4. It gives us 10.75. So I measured my 10.75 and I added extra 4 inches allowance. 4 inches allowance extra. Having done that, I'm going to take my vertical measurement now. The only vertical measurement I need for this gown is the bust point, the under bust and the length of the gown. I believe you know how to get your vertical measurement. Place your tape at the shoulder and then you measure downwards. That's the vertical measurement. So I'm going to start by removing 1 inch here. I'll remove 1 inch here and that will be my starting point. From this line, I'll be taking my vertical measurement. From my shoulder to the bust point is 10 inches. Then I mark. Shoulder to my under bust, 13. And then shoulder to the length of the gown, 40 inches. I'll add 1 inch there, making it 41 inches. So this is my vertical measurement, the bust point, the under bust and the length of the gown. So now I'm going to add my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 16. 16 divided by 2 will give us 8. So this is 8 inches. Then the neck width for this particular style is 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. You can make the neck width 3 inches if the person is so fat. But moderately 2.5 inches is okay for the neck width. That is the wideness of the neck. So from this point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch to slope the shoulder. You know our shoulders are not straight, so we are sloping the shoulder by 1 inch and I'll connect it to the neck width. So I'll be extending this measurement, the bust measurement I have here, to the bust point and to the under bust. Okay, so I'll just draw a line there from that point, connecting the 2 lines. I don't want the A-line flair to start from the bust point. I want it to start from the under bust. That's the reason why I added the under bust line. I hope you understand. So I don't even need waist measurement and everything. It's actually a very small A-line. So for the back side, the neck depth is going to be ½ inch. ½ inch and I mark. So I'll make a slight curve there. So this is the neck depth for the back side. So having done that, I'll come here on this shoulder slope. I'll measure ½ inch here for my shoulder allowance. This is to join the front shoulder to the back shoulder. So 1/2 inch. So this is my shoulder allowance. So guys, the next step is to come to the down part, that is the length of the gown, and I'm going to add my hip measurement there. My hip measurement is 43 divided by 4 will give us 10.75. 10.75 is here. I'll be measuring 2 inches here for a little A-line flay at this point. So I'll mark my 2 inches here for my A-line flay, and I'll be adding 1.5 inches for sewing allowance. So from here now, from the underbust line that I have here, I'll connect to that point to get my small A-line flay. So we are through with the back side. The next step is for us to cut it out, and I'll use it to cut the front part. If you want a very big flay, instead of adding 2 inches for your A-line flay, you can add 3 inches or 4 inches depending on your choice. So guys, I'll be using this back side to cut the front side. So I'll fold my material and place the back side on it. I've placed the back side on the folded material for us to cut the front side. What I have here is 3 inches. 3 inches for the button placket. So but later I'm going to cut it and replace it with this black material. So but in case you don't want any combination, this is how you go about it. I'll cut exactly what I have here. After cutting, I'll trim the armhole for the front side and then create the neck depth for the front side. I'm going to measure 1/2 inch here. So I'll trim the armhole for the front side. So guys, the next step is to cut out these 3 inches for button placket. I'm going to cut it out. You know, I told you we are going to replace it with this black material. From here, I'll leave 0.25 inch allowance. So I'm going to cut it out now. If you don't want to combine your own, if you don't want to put a separate material for the button placket, what you need to do is just to open it here. The neck depth for the front side is going to be 3 inches. So plus the 1/2 inch for joining the shoulder, I'll be measuring 3.5 inches here. So this is the neck depth. So I'll draw my round neck. We have the back neckline and the front neckline. So to replace the button placket, this one, I'll fold this black material. This is also a crepe material. So I'll just fold it into 2. And the wideness is going to be 3 inches. So the wideness is 3 inches on fold. Then the length, I'll cut out the length of the gown there before we trim the neckline. button it, I'll open it into two. So now we have two pieces. For this button placket, I'm going to attach my fusible interfacing on it. I've attached the fusible interfacing and I went ahead to iron it flat like this. I have 1.5 inches. 1 inch for the wideness of the button placket and 1/2 inch will be for the sewing. I'm going to fix this one here and then fix this one here. So this is how it's going to be. So guys, I'm going to attach the button placket now. So to sew this, to fix this on this material, I'll open this up. I'll open it up like this and I'm going to place it right side to the wrong side. So this is the right side of this cloth. I'll place it on the wrong side of it. I'll place it like this and I'm going to sew down with 0.5 inch allowance. So after sewing, I will use this one to cover the rough edges here. The same way you fix your band, your skirt band. So guys, I've attached the button placket. I'm going to overlap it like this. I'll just overlap it like this and pin. So after pinning the button placket, the next is for us to join the front and back together. So we are going to shape the gown using the 1.5 inches allowance we added for sewing allowance. And then at the shoulder, we are going to sew the shoulder using 1/2 inch sewing allowance that we added for shoulder allowance. So the next step is to fix. I'm going to fix the sleeve. So after fixing the sleeve, I'll cut the bishop collar and fix it. So I'll place my material on fold like this and I'll measure my armhole depth. Armhole depth 8 inches. From here, from this point, I'm going to go down by 4 inches and mark. I'm going to remeasure my armhole depth at that 4 inches. So this is 8 inches here. From this 8 inches, I'll add the 1/2 inch ease I added here. I'm going to replace it here, 1/2 inch for ease. And I'm going to add 1.5 inches for sewing allowance as well. You can add 1.5 or 1 inch. The length of the sleeve is going to be 16. 2 inches for allowance, making it 18. So that is the length I want. I'm going to curve from this point. I'm going to curve towards this edge. We are making something like an S shape. I have a video on how to cut a basic sleeve in the channel. You can search for Chisom Ene and check it out and learn. So we are not going to go into the details. So just from there, we went down by 4 inches and from here, we connected with an S shape like this. So I'll extend it now to the allowance. So coming to this side, I'm going to measure here. I measure this point and add the measurement there. So I have 11 inches here. So I'll come here and measure and add the 11 inches here. So 11 inches divided by 2. I'll add 1.5 inches allowance. So from there, I'll connect it to this point. So at this point I'm going to fold like this. The hemming allowance, I'll fold it inward before I cut that side. I'm going to trim the front side. I'll trim one side. I'll remove half an inch. So this side will be the front sleeve, while this will be the back sleeve. So I'll go and sew the sleeve and fix it on the gown. Then after that, we'll cut the bishop collar. So guys, I'm done fixing the sleeve. So the next thing we're going to do now is to fix the bishop collar. So to do that, I'll be using this collar gun to cut it out. I'll just place it like this. I'll place it like this and take the measurement of the neckline. So this is the closed side. This side is closed while this is open. So I'm going to measure and place the measurement here. But before then, I'd like to draw out a straight line to guide us. So this line will guide us. This is our starting point line. So having drawn the starting point line, I'll now place the measurement, the neckline measurement. So I'll measure the back. This is the two shoulders where we'll join the shoulders. So I'm going to measure from there. I'll measure the back neckline from that shoulder point. The back neckline is 3 inches. So I'm going to come here and measure the 3 inches here. So because the collar gum is on fold, I'll measure the same 3 inches here. So that by the time you open it up, we'll get 6 inches. I hope it's clear. So this is the back, the wideness of the back neckline, 3 inches. So having done that, I'll measure from this joining, shoulder joining. From this shoulder joining, I'll measure the front neckline. I'll measure make sure you measure it very well. I have 5.5 inches. 5.5 inches for the front neckline. So from these 3 inches, I'll measure 5.5, which is the front neckline, and mark. So altogether, the entire length of the neckline is 8.5. So the height of the collar is going to be 1 inch. So I'm going to mark 1 inch here. So I'll mark 1 inch here at this point, and I'll connect. This is for the back neckline. So this one is for the back. So for the front neckline, I'll first of all measure 1 inch. I'll measure 1 inch like this and mark. So from that 1 inch measurement, I'll now measure the height of the collar, which is also 1 inch. So I'll measure 1 inch like this and mark. So from this 1 inch, I'll connect to this point where the back neckline stopped. So I'm going to connect like this. Okay, so from this place, I'll connect to this 1 inch here. So you make sure that this side, From here to here will be 1 inch, 1 inch all through. Okay. So this is what we have. So the next thing I'll be doing is to curve this point. I'm going to curve it like this. So this is how I curve it. So this is the collar now. I'll cut it out. I will place it on the fabric, add our allowance to that. So we are going to bring the black material and I'm going to fold it into two because we need two of them. One will serve as the main collar, while the other one will serve as the lining. So I'm going to place it like this and cut. This is what I have. So it's two. One will be for lining. So I'm going to place this. I'll place this on the wrong side and use my iron, pressing iron, to attach it together. So guys, after ironing it, this is what I have. So we are going to sew the collar now. I decided to attach a fusible interfacing on this side. With the sewing allowance I added, I'll sew from here to here. So we are closing this side. This is the inside. So after sewing it round, I turn to the right side and iron it properly. So we are going to fix it. This is how I'll place it. So the side that has the collar stay will be outside like this, and then this side will be inside. So we are going to sew from the wrong side. We are going to sew from the wrong side. So I'll just place the collar like this. We'll place it like this. Can you see? So we'll place it like this and sew it round. Or for you to be on the safe side, you can just notch the center. Notch the center of the neckline like this. You notch it like this. And you fold this one and notch it again. Notch it again. So you can start the fixing from the center. So imagine this notch, you match the two notches together and you sew towards this side. Okay, you sew towards this side and then sew towards this side. So anyone that you prefer, go ahead and do that. So guys, I'm done stitching this side. Remember, we sew from the wrong side. Remember to start the sewing from the wrong side, then finish it at the right side. So what I will do now is to fold this inward inside the I'll fold this inside the collar like this. I'll fold it like this and sew. So I'm going to go over to the machine and stitch. I'll fold and stitch. So this is the collar now. So I'll pin it down. So this is the collar, looking so nice, as you can see. So this is it. As for the button, I'm going to create a buttonhole and put my button. If you want to use this material to do a cover button and place it here. Then if you don't want, you can just place any button of your choice after creating your buttonhole. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to wear it like that and use my pin to hold it down. So later on I will create my buttonhole and do my cover button. I'll prefer to make use of a cover button for the gown. So this is it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share so that others can see it as well and watch. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any question, please leave it in the comment section. I will attend to it. Till next time, I'll see you again. For now, it is bye bye.